Welcome to Turn Into Podcast. I'm Gina Baruch. Join me in my journey and discover how women's stories are woven into our lives, reflecting the beautiful tapestry of human experience. Welcome to Turn Into. I'm Gina Baruch, and if you join me for the last episode, you know I actually did it. I faced my fear and dropped this podcast. So here we are, episode 2. You may be wondering, how do you know if you are on the right path? Should I be an artist, a writer? Should I just start that idea I've been dreaming about? Some lucky souls know their calling from an early age. For the rest of us, myself included, it's an epic exploration to find our passion. But before we dive into that, I want to share a true story because you will see how all the pieces eventually connect. Let's head back to my childhood. I grew up as the youngest of 4 daughters and 1 son, on the tropical coast of the Gulf of Mexico. Imagine a place hot and humid as hell, yet utterly blessed with the shimmering sea, cascading waterfalls, and winding rivers, all surrounded by vibrant flowers and lush trees. My dad was a doctor, my mom a housewife. They divorced while she was pregnant with me. It's a bit of a paradox, but we were both incredibly poor and in our own way, millionaires at the same time. To give you a glimpse of the poor side, our toilet never worked. We literally used a bucket to flush. The kitchen sink was a perpetual leaky faucet. My dad bought us clothes only twice a year, school uniforms in August, and a special dress for Christmas. And as awkward as it sounds, our entire family slept in the same bed until I was 15. Not because we lacked rooms, but because we only had one air conditioner. Despite those peculiarities, my dad ensured we always had food on the table and access to education. We had a mini orchard of 20 different fruit trees right home. Tamarind, soursop, plums, coconuts, mangoes, grapefruit, even cinnamon and pepper. Most of our food was organic and fresh from the local market. Books and music were constant companions. I was introduced to Vivaldi, Mozart, the Beatles, Ray Conniff, and Frank Sinatra at a very young age. I devoured The Great Gatsby at barely 10, and while I definitely didn't grasp the adult themes, it gave me a glimpse into the vastness of human experience. My father also championed culture, buying the newspaper daily and making us read articles. Movies were part of our education too. My mom organized weekend marathons. I vividly remember crying through Empire of the Sun, dreaming with Cinema Paradiso, being inspired by Scarlett O'Hara's courage, and getting traumatized by the food industry watching Soylent Green. My mom barely finished elementary school, but that never stopped her insatiable curiosity for learning cooking. While she mastered traditional Mexican dishes, she was always experimenting. Even with a limited budget and living far away from the city, she would find a way to source the ingredients and prepare us exotic meals. My mom was truly unusual for our small town. Imagine this. A tall white woman with fiery red hair made a bold statement walking down the school aisle. Her vibrant psychedelic miniskirt and knee-high boots drew every eye, as did her long, shapely legs. She was remarkably good at what I call indoctrination. Her core tenets for our household were clear. In this house, we don't lie, we don't steal, we work, and we thrive together. I grew up with a wild mix of Montessori freedom and army-like rigidity. Everyone had chores assigned, even me from a very early age. Of course, they weren't my favorite tasks, but when you grow up seeing everyone else tackle their duties without complaint, you simply understand it's the right thing to do. For example, if I said I didn't want to go to school, she will ask why. If my reasons were honest, she will let me miss. Ironically, with that much freedom, I rarely ever did it. On the flip side, certain things were non-negotiable. Asking for a random toy or daily candy was not even a concept. Tantrums in the supermarket for the latest Barbie? Not a chance. My mom was creative, courageous, yet also carried deep insecurities and wounds from my father's divorce. She was very traditional and conservative when it came to sexual values, like no having sex before marriage, but surprisingly open about nudity and women's menstrual cycles. Blood was never a secret. She wasn't religious at all, but we prayed before bed and sent me to both Catholic and Christian churches. There are legendary stories of her and my aunt literally kicking a neighbor's butt for trying to steal our clothes, or the time the police stopped her for speeding, with my brother and sister buckled in the back. As the officer walked back to his car to write the fine, left him in the dust. "Mrs. Mrs. Come back!" What normal mother would do that? So given that example, what do you expect from her daughters? As you can imagine, my sisters and I were easygoing in our early years. But as we left childhood, my mom's rigid values became highly questionable. My oldest sister left home at a very early age because my mother didn't want her to study abroad. Her main concern: what would people think about a girl living by herself? Fortunately, my father supported my sister and she went to university. My sister Guadalupe was the diplomatic of the family. She would say, "Yes, Mom," then do whatever she wanted the moment Mom turned back. Then there was Dahlia. She was never quiet. If my mom said something Dahlia disagreed with, she would question her relentlessly. My mom would resort to, "because I said so," but Dahlia will keep pushing. An average child will shut up, but no Dahlia. She would continue making her point, no matter how much it hurted. But my siblings weren't just rebels questioning the status quo. My brother read constantly, and as an engineer, he loved taking things apart. The problem, he never put them back together, so we constantly stumbled over tools and screws. Cecil was the academic, while Lupe and Dahlia were kind of kamikazes. They loved roller skating on the street. And if you ever have seen the quality of Mexican streets, you know how dangerous that can be. They were adventurers, also graceful contemporary dancers. Not everything was a rosy dream. My mom could be spring in the morning, winter by midday, and summer by night. She dealt with 5 children by age of 31. And even with the option to remarry, she chose to stay with us. She also had stages of depression. I remember her going with the psychiatric, lying in bed with crushing headaches, and running away from home. In those seasons, my older sister, Cecile, cooked for us. Guadalupe helped me with homework, while Dahlia took me to the dentist. Sometimes Cecile and Guadalupe would have a fierce fight, and then Daniel and I would team up. These fights were tough. My mom would arrive, and without even asking who started, she would give us all what we deserved. Undoubtedly, my sisters gave me crucial skills I would need later in life. On the other hand, when my mom was in the right mood, she was pure sunshine. She would make handmade tortillas for bean burrito. We will explore rivers and waterfalls. One of my favorite places was Las Lomas, an island without electricity, where houses were made of mud, with roof of palm. The fancy homes may have had a bed, but most people slept on hammocks. To get there, we had to cross by boat. Later, they built a platform to transport cars and people across the river. The population there was warm and present, always welcoming us with fresh caught fish and smiles. I would stay playing in the water with my sisters the whole day until our fingers were soft and wrinkled. At night, we would go back home. Those are some of my best and happiest memories I have ever had. Who knew that memory would later spark my creativity as an artist? You can see a picture of the four of us swimming naked in the river in my website, whether print or textile. Serves as a powerful reminder of the deep, unspoken complicity and love encrypted in our sisterhood. It represents the hand that held my bike seat when I was learning to write, the secrets we shared while preparing Christmas dinner, the fun we had playing baseball with our neighbors, the laughter we shared dancing together, the prayers we whispered before going to bed, the punishments we endured for stepping into a fight, the cheers we heard when we performed in front of an audience, the excitement of our first boyfriends, the tears we dropped when that passed away, the patience, the listening when we felt lost, and the pain and struggles we navigated together. No matter the genre, sisterhood or brotherhood, the language of community is always the same: love. And even if you don't have blood sisters, genetics are irrelevant. Wherever you are meant to go, you will always find a sister, or, even better, many sisters on your path. Your chosen clan will love you and accept you just the way you are, sharing drops of joy and happiness with you, and holding your hand in moments of despair. The bond of sisterhood is timeless. No matter the distance or how many years pass without seeing each other, love is eternal, and it will always be there for us. Thank you to all my sisters. If you enjoyed this episode and you would like to hear more about this, please support this project by subscribing to my Patreon, sharing it with all your friends, and follow me on Instagram at Gina Baruch Art. See you next week, and always remember, you were born to shine.